and welcome to my maybe first, maybe only little Christmas episode. Hello, if you're new, my name on Instagram is Orchid's Heart and I live in Birmingham, England, with my partner in our lovely home. You might be able to hear the fire crackling and a bit of noise from the road. I'm in the living room today. I am just going to see if having the lights on makes it a bit better, so bear with me a second. Maybe that's better. I'm not sure. Feels a bit. Yeah, I think so. I think that's better. So I said welcome to new people. Hello again to people who might be returning. So normally I do monthly, quite long episodes, but it's Christmas and I've been super crafty and creative lately, so I thought I'd do an extra episode, even though I only uploaded last week. So yes, this one hopefully will be shorter because it's just a quick update, and then if you want to hang out with me at the end and see some of the things I've been getting up to, you can knit and see the crafty bits I've been doing. So I'm sat in the living room because I have the fire going. The weather has, it's cold now, it's winter, so I've been really enjoying the winter vibes. Despite the occasional traffic noise, I can kind of trick myself into thinking I'm not living in the city when I'm here and it's quiet and the kids next door are at school, so there's no noise because we have no other neighbours attached to us, and it's just peaceful and the sound of my fire. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds at the moment. We have a big green at the end of our road, and it's nice for little walks. So yeah, I've been getting super cosy. Doing some knitting, not masses, but some. Lots of other crafting bits like making. I decided I was going to make rum truffles for Christmas presents, so I made those at the weekend and wrapped them up in some recycled packaging, things like egg boxes and like boxes I've been collecting and tissue paper and stuff like that. So they're safely in the fridge because they do have cream and I'll be gifting them later this week. I had a craft fair last weekend, maybe the weekend before now. And so I made lots of things like soaps and lip balms and stuff like that. So I had a few bits left over, so I've popped some of those into some of my presents. So yes, I feel a lot more chilled than I did in my last episode. But since my last episode, I casted on something entirely new, which I've since finished. I finished another finished object, and I think I'm substantially further along on my main whip as well. Now, people are probably going to ask about what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing two things. One I've made, one I haven't. And I'm probably going to have to take this one off because it's getting warm with the fire going. So this I didn't make. However, it's like one of my all-time favourite garments. I bought it in a charity shop when I was about 15. I did last winter have to mend the elbow a bit, which I did using duplicate stitch because last year I learned how to do duplicate stitch, and so that meant I could fix it much better than I would have ever been able to do if I wasn't a knitter. Like that, definitely. Not that you need to be a knitter to do duplicate stitch, but I understand the mechanics a lot better. So I've been able to fix it without it being too obvious. I fixed it, which makes me really happy because I love this and I wouldn't want it to end up with like scruffy visible mending. I don't mind visible mending on some things, but not something like this. So, I mean, I've had this like 15 years because, I mean, I'm 30 something now, not quite 31. So, I mean, I've had it since I was 15. I've had it a really long time and like it's held up so well. Like it does pill a bit, but barely. And like the finish feels really smooth. And I did actually recently like look at the label to see what the fibre was. And I was surprised. It's quite a lot of alpaca and wool. I didn't think that would be the composition of it because it doesn't feel drapey. I wonder if it's because it's been washed a few times and it has felted a bit, but in a way that you can still see all the stitch definition and like it just feels gorgeous. So even though I have done a colourwork cardigan, the Maya cardigan, I still prefer this one. But whenever I wear it, people always say it's a Christmas jumper, even though I used to wear it all the time before. And weirdly, and I've mentioned this before when I've worn it before, every partner I've ever had absolutely hates it. I don't know why, I think it's gorgeous. So anyway, I'm going to take it off because I'm really warm. The company or the person that made it is Eddie Bauer. The tag's really grubby, so I'm not going to show you. So Eddie Bauer, I believe is that an American company? I'm not sure. I don't know. My mum seems to think that it's an American company and she recognises it from when we spent some time in America. But honestly, I haven't got a clue. I do really like the way the button band is done. Rather than having a fabric ribbon, it's got like a finer knitted strip to cover, and so it's like really stretchy, which I think would be a pain to do, because I'm assuming this is machine knitted, you know. I guess, don't actually know. I think that'd be a pain to do, but you know, it's a really lovely finish. And yeah, I'm just looking. It doesn't look like the pieces were cut to shape. It looks like it was, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, you're not here to hear about my thrifted finds. I've already talked about 6 minutes about gibberish, so let's keep going. I'm wearing also my Tulip pullover. I've talked about this before. 2 strands of Plutlopi and a strand of mohair. I didn't enjoy knitting this, but I do really enjoy wearing it. Mine's got a folded over neckline, and I inserted some rolled elastic into the neck, and so I might be able to show you. Maybe my hair's getting really long. Oh. Can we see? Where is it? Here it is. Sorry, you can see the ends coming out there. I thought this would really irritate my neck, but actually it doesn't. I never feel it. The knot is actually inside the neckline, so that doesn't matter. So I really enjoy wearing it. It's got the perfect amount of ease, more ease on the body than on the arms, because I have a massive tendency when I'm knitting things to like really decrease on the arms quite a lot. I just keep going and they always end up being quite skin tight. I don't know why, but yeah, and the body's quite loose. The fit, I can, if I need to, wear my Lettlopi Fern and Feather jumper with this on top, and then my Maya cardigan, which is out of Lettlopi and Plutlopi, and have 3 layers of Lopi if the temperature so requires it. How wild is that? I do get cold, and I have to admit, because I'm working from home, I'm just wearing leggings and basically comfort clothes. But anyway, let's crack on with the finished objects. So something I was wearing until the fire got going was my newly finished whip, which I finished last night, and this is my velvet Mirror Cowl. Sorry, I realise I keep like getting higher and my face is going off screen. So this is my velvet Mirror Cowl. This is patterned by Andrea Mowry. It is a tube, which you then Kitchener stitch close. You graft it. And so I don't know if you can tell on the back. You do 2 repeats of the colour chart one way, and then you do 2 repeats of the colour chart again, but you flip which is the main colour and which is the contrast. And she does give you 2 sets of charts, so you don't need to manage like the psychological, like trying to swap them around. You know, so the second one's got the dark where the light was and the light where the dark was. So you put a twist in and then you Kitchener it closed. So I knit mine with the Calson Fingering by Ampersand Fibers in the colourway Oat 2, which is a sport weight, which I won in a giveaway. So it's an American yarn. And so, yeah, and that's the kind of greyish colour. And then my fluff, in the pattern, I think she uses a sport weight fluff, but I bought in a random bargain bucket a lace weight Suri Alpaca from Zakami, Fibers, Zakami yarns, and it was like yellow, and I held it with a strand of naturally dyed something that I thrifted, which happened to be pretty much the same colour. Now in Andrea Mowry's, one of these she uses a spin, I think actually they might be both spin cycle, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but one of them has a bit of a gradual colour change so that there is a bit of a shift in colour throughout, When I looked at the skein of our Suri Alpaca, mine did have a bit of a gradual colour change, but because I've held it with something else and because there's so much going on, you actually can't really see it. Well, I'll put it on. Mine came out a bit smaller because I didn't do a gauge swatch, because life's too short to do a gauge swatch for a cowl or a shawl. And so it is a bit smaller. Hers droops down a bit lower, but it still fits and it's so soft and so cozy, and I really love wearing it. It's just too warm in here right now. So yeah, it's delicious. It's so squishy, so it'll be really good out in the cold, definitely. And then my other finished object, and this is something you've not seen before. So I cast these on the other day. The Foraois, probably not said correctly at all, mitten pattern. So let me put one on. Put them both on actually. I've knit these in Lettlopi scraps. So you need about 1.5 balls of the darker main colour and then 1 ball of the contrast colour. I mean, I ended up using a lot less than that. And you get these lovely mittens. Now, these were really quick to knit up. I reckon I could knit 1 mitten in a day if I wasn't working. And I made these because my mittens that I wear, that I didn't knit actually, they're like fingerless convertible mittens. I have to mend them every time I wear them. They're worn through so much that they basically are just disintegrating. I'm still going to keep mending them and wearing them because I love them, but they look really scruffy, and sometimes I just think I want to look a bit neater when I'm going out and doing something. So you know, these look a bit neater. Now, I don't know if you can tell, the eagle-eyed among you maybe, or maybe the light in here isn't good enough. They are 2 different shades of black. So I had in my Lettlopi stash 1 skein of black brown heather and 1 shade of black heather, because when I did my fern and feather, I ordered my Lettlopi from a website called Rito Hobby, which is based abroad but registered to the UK, so you don't need to pay taxes. Didn't really get it, but the Lettlopi was like £2.90 a ball. It was really cheap. And I didn't know whether I wanted black brown heather or black heather for the colour work on my fern and feather. So I had a bit left over of each. I think I used some in my Maya cardigan. And I didn't have quite enough of one of them to do a whole glove in it. And okay, even I can't see in this light, but in some pictures in sunlight, I think it's this one, the top part of these bits are in the other one and half the thumb is in the other one, but the light in here isn't good enough for you to see that. And quite frankly, nobody is going to notice except me. Now, I did make some modifications because I was short of dark yarn. I started my colour work a bit earlier and knit my beige bit a bit longer. I also did not Kitchener my thumb or graft my tops closed. I did more of a barn toe, like you pull the thread through the live stitches, pull it shut and then weave in the end. So one was a bit better than the other, so they are a bit pointier. I didn't really want a pointy mitten, I wanted like a nice rounded mitten. My socks always come out rounded when I do that, so I don't know why my mittens came out pointy, but you know, that's what happened. And they're nice and squishy, and as I was knitting them, when I got to about here, I did actually think, I think I want some fingerless Lettlopi gloves as well. So I don't have any Lettlopi left in my stash. I just have 1 skein of orange. So that's not going to happen anytime soon because I'm trying not to buy new yarn just for the sake of it. And I don't need any fingerless gloves. I have these ones that my mum made me a couple of years ago. I think out of Shetland Spindrift. I mean, they are really thin. But to be honest, fingerless gloves is more something that I wear around the house when I'm working from home, when I'm cold, when I'm knitting at home, when I'm typing. So this is good enough for my use, or for early autumn, late spring. Maybe a Lettlopi fingerless glove would have a lot less use for me, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my 2 finished objects, and then my main whip, which I have in my really gorgeous Christmas bag by Harriet Wildwood Stitches with all these robins and things and Harris tweed. Absolutely love it, so well made. I have my main whip, which I'm knitting out of an equally delightful yarn by Fibre Tales, which is a Gotland and something blend. I'm sorry, I can't remember the other one. I love Gotland though, so I always remember Gotland. And Gotland are her sheep. So, and I absolutely love the feel of this. And I'm knitting the Alaska sweater. So I think when I last showed you, I was still doing the colour work on the trees. So I've now finished that. And I didn't go down or up a needle size, sorry, for my colour work. So you can see it does pull in a bit on the waist. But I think when I've got it on, it'll be okay. And I have knit it a bit longer than in the pattern because the pattern's cropped. I still want a crop jumper, but I measured my fern and feather because my fern and feather is a cropped length but not super cropped. And for me it's my absolute perfect length. It comes just past the waistband on most of my stuff because I wear high-waisted nearly everything, but I don't get that cold middle experience. So this will be the same. So yes, I really like it. And I'm just about to start the colour work on this sleeve, and then I will do the other sleeve and then pick up the neckband and knit that. So, and I should have plenty of yarn left to do that because this is what I've got. So there might be a little bit left for something else, like a cheeky something. But it's just, I really love the feel of it. When it arrived, I was like, was it really worth all that money I spent on it? Because by the time I've paid the delivery and import charges, it was on the pricier end for yarn that I pay for like 20 something a skein. I think it was, yeah, it was about 20 something a skein. I was like, oh, was it really worth it? Once it's been blocked, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And I'm like, okay, this is why I like Gotland. This is why I love it so much. So this is thinner than obviously my Lettlopi jumpers. So this will probably be an autumn spring knit or even a summer evening knit for me. But I'm really enjoying knitting on it. I knitted a lot of it whilst I was on holiday in America because a lot of it is plain stockinette to start with. But I feel like it's a Christmassy knit with the trees. So I'm enjoying that Christmassy vibe. I probably won't wear it that much until it starts warming up a bit. Maybe I will, but I'll probably have to wear lots underneath it or lots over the top. So we'll see. But you know, maybe it'll be good for layering. Or good for when I'm going somewhere that isn't freezing cold. But yes, so I'm really enjoying that. So I think at the moment I am knitting a Sophie scarf for my mother, which is very Christmassy. Did I show that last time? Oh, it's just in the other room, let me grab it. So I went to Taproot when I was in Portland, Maine. It's just around the corner from Port Fibre. And I really like this bag because it's got knitting and like calendula and like beets and things that you grow. I really like it. And it's just like a thin like produce bag. So it's quite good for one of those shove it in your handbag experiences. So I started this Sophie scarf in this, ooh, it's a bit darker than that. Why is it doing that? Maybe that's right. This is by Biches, Le Petit Lambswool. And I actually won this in the same giveaway that I won the grey yarn from my cowl. And I am holding it double to knit this Sophie scarf. This is not my colour. I think it would totally wash me out. But my mum quite likes this colour. So I started knitting this as a Christmas present for her. However, I'm seeing her in less than a week for our fake Christmas, so I don't think I'm going to finish it in time. I could if I really put my mind to it, but I really decided this year to not stress and not put loads of pressure on myself for things that I can't really achieve. So I've been knitting it on train journeys and things like that, and I don't have any other big journeys coming up, so I don't really have any other solid time to sit down and do it. And to be honest, the gauge on it is a bit tight, so I'm not really enjoying it that much. I could rip it out and go up a needle size and start again, but I'm halfway through according to the pattern. I am going to do some more increases just to make it a bit longer. So I don't really want to start again. I may as well persevere on something that's that small. Whereas I am really enjoying knitting on my jumper because the gauge and the needle size and the yarn and everything really feel good, and it really feels good and it really flows. So I'd rather continue knitting on this in the evenings than the red shawl, which maybe is a bit selfish. But my mum's Christmas present, I've got like a box and I've put loads of things in it that I've collected and things I've made and things I know she'll really like, so she's not missing out. Her present's big enough, so maybe I'll give this to her next year instead, and then there's no pressure to finish it. Or maybe for her birthday, because her birthday is mid-August, so it's kind of a nice time to give someone something because then they have it for autumn. But yeah, so one of my next projects I'm going to cast on, I mentioned in my stories the other day, is I've decided I'm going to make a Christmas pair of socks using this really lovely sock set from Fibre Co. So they're a Canadian company, and I've been drooling over their colours for maybe a year, maybe more. And I ordered this before I went to America and got it delivered to a relative over there. And this is the snowdrift set, so you get 100 grams and then 2 20s. And so I'm going to knit, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really lovely sock pattern by Larkspur Knits, and it's got a contrast heel toe and cuff, but it has these like lovely fir trees on the leg. So I'm going to use this bluey green one for the trees, and this one for the heels, toe and cuff, and then this for the main sock. So you can see it's a lot more speckled this end, and I think it'd be really gorgeous. There'll definitely be a lot of this left, so I can use that for something else as well. Probably another pair of socks. I have another sock set by them, and I reckon between 2 sock sets I'll easily get 3 pairs of socks. I'm hoping for 2 like really nice pairs, and then like 1 pair of really nice scrappy stripy socks with all the leftover bits. Because their colours, like, they're all like these grungy colours that I absolutely love. So yeah. So the last thing that I'm going to share with you is I did treat myself to something I've never bought before, and that is a wool wash. It's made specifically for hand knit garments. I normally just buy wool wash from the supermarket, but someone was talking about this the other day at Eucalan and mentioned it had lanolin in it, and I kind of got it into my head that I'd quite like to wash my mittens with a wool wash that has lanolin in it. And so I bought some as a treat for myself, and I bought the jasmine scent, and it's really, really strong. I think I regret it slightly. I wish I'd bought something like lavender or something a bit more earthy. I think they do a cedar one. I should have got that. But I, for some reason, thought jasmine would be really nice and unusual. I think I thought it'd be more delicate than it is. But maybe it is more delicate once you've diluted it. So I'll let you know how that goes. I am excited to try it on my mittens. It's a no rinse formula, and you can do it by hand or in the machine. So I'm going to do that perhaps today. So yeah, my mittens weren't blocked, by the way, so I'm probably going to block them next, and maybe you'll get to see a bit of a clip of that. We'll see. That's all from me today, so a shorter episode, and I hope you enjoy seeing my festive activities I've been getting up to, and I shall maybe catch you in a week, maybe in the new year. Oh no, I was going to share something else. I'm sorry, something I forgot. I've decided that I'm going to do a little bit of a festive giveaway. just a small one, so you know, don't need to get too excited. But I want to send some of you guys a Christmas present. So I have a few things left over from my craft fair, and so I'm going to pick out some things I can fit into a large letter sized package. So it might be wax melts, it might be homemade lip balms, maybe a few stitch markers, maybe a printed tote, and I am going to make up at least 2 packages, I think. I'm sticking to large letter size because of the cost of international post, and I am going to maybe share, well, I am going to share on my Instagram and sharing it on here, so maybe I'll pick one from there, one from here. If there's 3, maybe I'll combine it somehow. But yeah, to enter, all you need to do is share with me one of your favourite winter holiday traditions. So that could be a Christmas tradition, that can just be a December time tradition. If you're not in the Northern Hemisphere where it's all a bit wintry and cold, then maybe it's a warm weather tradition that you do this time of year, but just something that you like to do at this point in the year. Yeah, and I'd like to know what that might be. So it doesn't have to be Christmas. I'm thinking of Christmas because we do somewhat celebrate it in a non-religious way, but I know not everybody does. But maybe you do still have something that you like to do every year at this time. So if you share with me what that might be, and then I will pick a name at random on Instagram and on here, and I will send that out after Christmas, because if you've heard anything about people in the UK, our postal system at the moment is a bit shot. It's all the strikes, so sending parcels is a bit tricky at the moment. Everything's heavily delayed, so I won't be sending them until the new year. So it's kind of a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, start of a new year kind of gift to you thing. So thank you for watching my videos over this last year. I really enjoy making them and sharing them with you, and I just wanted to give you something back and share some of the things that I've been making. So yes, that's all I wanted to say. So thank you, and maybe now you can see me. Am I making any of those things in these video clips? I'm not sure. Can't remember. But anyway, I've talked long enough. Bye!